Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we continue our spooky season focused content with a look at the top 10 horror 4Ks from Scream Factory that are currently in my collection. So pop that tape in, I got you, let's go do this. All right, so top 10 Scream Factory 4Ks. Now, first, some ground rules. These are ones that are currently in my collection. So I don't have them all. I do not have every 4K that Scream Factory has put out there on horror for horror films. I don't have every Shout Factory, Scream Factory 4K, period. I'm expanding that collection. So you might know of one that is really great that's not on this list, and it's just because I don't have it. I'm not going to talk about things that I don't personally see and evaluate. So, what goes into this list is the quality of the 4K restoration, the presentation, everything about it, and then just whether or not I like the damn movie or not factors in too. So, we have 10 here, and I mean, I really could have done 15 because I'm going to be honest, there's a few, and I'll mention them at the end, honorable mentions that are really great. Scream Factory does some damn good 4K restoration work, but if you're looking to add to your horror 4K collection this spooky season, and with the sale that's coming up from Scream Factory, then these are ones that you definitely want to have in your collection. And I'm going to start. I do have these kind of they're ranked. So I'm going to start here with Night of the Comet. Now I got the alternative artwork on here because I like that better. But if you see what this movie, like, you can go on to YouTube and watch this movie for free on here in the basic standard definition. When you see that and you compare it to this 4K, you will be absolutely blown away. And I mean, I like this movie. I've talked about it before a couple of times. This came from a 4K scan of the original camera negative, so that's always going to be a good, better way to do it is if you can get that original camera negative to do your 4K restoration from. And this one, it has Catherine Mary Stewart, who I always liked, and she popped up in a lot of big 80s movies. And it takes place a lot, like the first 17, 20 minutes are in a movie theater, and I always dig that vibe. And, Night of the Comet, the is very 80s because they end up in a mall. It's very like Night of the Living Dead-esque in that where they're like, zombies after the comet goes overhead, and this girl and her sister, they're trying to survive it. Classic 80s horror movie, and it is a hell of a 4K restoration here. So Night of the Comet comes in at number 10 on our list. Next up on our list, I got some John Carpenter, and I'm going with Escape from New York. This movie is a hard one to get right in 4K because there's so much nighttime in it. Anytime you have a lot of nighttime and you're trying to maintain detail and stuff like that, it can cause you a problem. Of course, this is the classic John Carpenter film. Kurt Russell, I love Kurt Russell, Snake Plissken. He has to go in and try to save the president and then escape out of New York, set in the very alternate future of 1997, way in the future, which is now like almost 30 years in the past, which will blow your damn mind. I really enjoyed this movie. It's maybe not as high for me on John Carpenter films as other people, which is crazy because I am a massive Kurt Russell fan. He is one of my favorite all-time actors. I'm going to probably do a favorite all-time actor list here coming pretty soon. But this movie looks great. The 4K is done so well. Everything in the dark, you don't lose any detail. And it's just a classic film. And Scream Factory, of course, has re-released this now on another, like a new steelbook as well. I have this in the big set here, which I'm collecting. And I believe all the Carpenter films on 4K are must owns. Anything with Kurt Russell and just the level of this 4K. It's iffy. Is this horror? And I almost left this off in favor of Silver Bullet, which is an honorable mention. Just kind of spill the beans on that because that's a true horror. And this is Carpenter. Is it horror? It's like post-apocalyptic horror. Let's just call it that. Survival horror, you could argue. Anyway, it's on my list. You can substitute Silver Bullet if you want to. I almost did, but I had to give the nod because I'm such a Kurt Russell and a John Carpenter fan. All right, next up is one that, a lot of people don't like this movie, and I think the movie is this close to being like an all-time cult classic, and it is so good that I used it to calibrate the HDR settings on my TV, and I am talking about Phantoms. Now, you can say, like, why? Because it has Dolby Vision. Well, it can also have, you can scale down to HDR 10 on this, and because there's not this massive range of colors, or distance between the darks and the lights, because there's just not that many lights, I actually used it to calibrate my TV HDR 10 settings. So this thing is great. The 4K, the detail, the clarity. I enjoy the movie. It's very Lovecraft to me. Yes, some of the CGI is dated. If they'd have gone a little more practical stuff, maybe created a practical monster, maybe rather than going CGI with the big thing at the end. I think it would be better. You got a young Ben Affleck in here, but to me, Liev Schreiber steals the show. And this 4K is just outstanding. It is. All of these on this list are going to be good. You're going to hear me use that. Scream Factory usually doesn't miss when they do a 4K restoration. And this one is, if you haven't given this one a chance, give it a chance. It has that creepy small town atmosphere, vibe, like mystery of what's going on, all that stuff. The ride is definitely worth it. The juice is worth the squeeze on this one. And Phantoms makes our list at 10, 9, 8. I guess that's number 8. All right. Now this next one, I'm going to pick two that are the best representation, in my opinion. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it real quick. This is the Halloween movies by Scream Factory. Now, all of these are really good. The ones I've chosen here are Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and Halloween H2O. I think maybe these are the two best representations of the 4K. Now, all of these are good, right? All of the Halloween movies, the restorations that Scream Factory did are great. But when you talk about Halloween 3, so much of it takes place at night in these hard conditions, lighting wise. You have a lot of that small town. It's just like empty town vibes, empty hospital, like these changes in darks and lights. And then, of course, like the colors with the mask and everything. This movie very much feels like The Fog in a lot of ways to me. And I just think that the 4K restoration on this, like Risha and I watched this. I got her to watch this one because it's not like so in your face horror. But you want to talk about grain and all that kind of stuff. It is just that classic filmic look, and I don't think it could be any better done. This 4K is amazing, and I really love this movie. And Halloween H2O, now it comes from later on where horror movies started to look a lot more slick, that very 90s, early 2000s feel to it. And, but this one, like this 4K is so crisp. It looks so good. And I'm a big Josh Hartnett fan. Love him in Penny Dreadful. I think like so underrated. If you haven't seen Penny Dreadful, that series, so damn good. But you also have Michelle Williams in this movie. And of course, you have Jamie Lee Curtis back. You got LL Cool J in this movie, who I always love. Well, ladies love Cool James, right? James Smith, he's another one of us Smith boys. But Halloween H2O, I think is severely underrated. Yes, I don't really like the look of Michael Myers in this as much, but the movie overall is damn good. It and this 4K just brings out that pops that slickness. I mean, it still retains a filmic quality. I think if you're looking for one that has the most like traditional filmic look to it and quality, and then a little bit of that slicker later on, these are the two best representations. And so Halloween 3 Season of the Witch and Halloween H2O make my list, but you really cannot go wrong with any of those Halloween movies. They are so damn good. Such a great job by Scream Factory on those releases. And next up, we're going Carpenter again with one of my favorite all-time horror, action, sci-fi movies, and that is They Live. Roddy Piper, I love this steelbook here. Roddy Piper in this, and Keith David in this movie. Or is it David Keith? Man, I do that every time, and I always look, and then I still forget the next time. One of the greatest campy fight scenes ever, but just the social commentary on this and how it's played out. Obviously a legendary movie, but this 4K looks so good. I mean, they, especially with the Carpenter movies, they have done a top-notch job here, and this is the best that They Live is ever going to look. It's your chance to own an amazing looking 4K of a classic horror film. I love it so much. I bought it twice. I have this steelbook, and then I have the 4K in the set over there, and I have a special slip cover on the way from Blockbuster Box Sets to protect this. I am a huge fan of this movie, and this 4K is like watching it in a whole new way. I got Risha to watch this one too. How about that? This is like watching it for the first time. And as many times as me and my brother watched this growing up, because we were huge wrestling fans and Roddy Piper, to say that I was able to watch it again like it was the first time is crazy. But I was able to do that because this 4K is so great. And They Live comes in on our list. All right, that is 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So we're in our top 5. 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, I got 5 left. And coming up is one of the most recent ones. And this one was sent to me as a gift by awesome channel member and subscriber Lance and Thigpen. And Lance sent me Poltergeist 2. And y'all, I have a review coming for this. You'll probably see the review on this on Saturday. So I'm not going to over talk about it here, but holy shit, this is one of the best 4K restorations that has been done. Some of the scenes in this, and I'll talk about them later, like where you see sweat on Craig T. Nelson when he's drinking, the outside where you see the ghosts, the spirits, colors in the flowers. There is nowhere in this film that you can nitpick anything. It cannot be done. It cannot be done. It is that good. I'm going to get into it, and I was just absolutely blown away. But Poltergeist 2, hell of a job by Scream Factory here, and they're back. It's got to be on our list. Comes in at number 5. Number 4. Now, some of these, like, maybe I gave the nod because, like, none of these miss anything. But maybe, like, some of these are higher now just because I personally like the movie better. And I don't think this one necessarily looks better than Poltergeist 2. But I'm a bigger fan overall of this movie, and that is The Fog. This is a must for any horror collection. And this 4K is another one that I think I've got a couple of times. Yes, because there is the other set in there. And I have a cool slip box for this somewhere. I promise you I do. I've showed it off before. But this 4K, like anytime, I've talked about it before, anytime you shoot where you have a lot of fog or smoke that you're shooting through, it can really, really get rough to maintain detail and color in that. And when you're talking about the fog, when you see the fog like roll over Antonio Bay, and you have the fog in the nighttime, and yet you still have all of that detail, that is a very hard thing to accomplish. first of all, that goes back to credit when it was being filmed that you have the ability for it to do that. But when you factor that into the restoration now too, the care that was taken, and then just the classic nature of the movie, the fog is a must-have. It's definitely in our top 5. Comes in at number 4. They're just doing a great job with everything, and these John Carpenter movies seem to just have extra care. But he shot them; they were shot well. They were filmed well at the start. So when you have great source material, that definitely helps. And the fog coming in at number 4. Next one on our list is one that I did a 4K review of recently. I've talked about this one a lot. Blew me away. Absolutely blew me away. I am talking about Return of the Living Dead. Wow. Just wow. Like, I talked about this because you can tell the famous Linnea Quigley scene. I've mentioned it before, where she's dancing naked in the graveyard. First of all, like the smoke and everything, where they're smoking cigarettes out there, the detail that you see in those trails, y'all don't understand how hard that is to maintain that crisp detail, and to bring it out to where it's never been seen before is insane. But where she's dancing up there, you can tell they never expected this to be so clear, to be delivered to you in 4K, where it's just such a clear, crisp image, because it shows her in detail that they never expected, that they expected to be covered with just a lack of clarity, shadow, and everything else. And this brings it out 100%. The colors in this, the tar man, he looks crazy detailed and good in this. And then scenes, I've talked about it in my 4K review. You guys can check that out. The scenes at night where you still see the raindrops and you see the green smoke where they're burning the body going up through there. There is not more that you can ask for from a 4K than this. And then the steelbook looks amazing. And the movie is just so damn much fun that Return of the Living Dead has to be on our list. All right, the next one up is one that I just got and just did a 4K review on a couple of days ago. That is Village of the Damned. Now, I know, like, some people feel some kind of way about this movie. They don't like it. It's one that I wasn't as into when I was younger, but now being older, being a father, like, and then watching this on the 4K, holy crap. Like, this thing is so good. I'm going to get up here closer to you. This thing is so good. Just every scene, and when their eyes light up, it will absolutely blow you away how good this looks. And if you want to check it out in detail, check out my review. Just did it on the channel. There's not more you can ask from a 4K. Maybe you don't like this movie as good, so it might be a little bit lower. But for me, I enjoyed this so much more. And the 4K, no shit, it helped enhance that, because it was like watching it for the first time. And that is such a cool experience when you've seen movies so many times. And it's hard to find movies you haven't seen when you're getting to watch it in a new way all over again. And then you appreciate, like, Christopher Reeve and Kirstie Alley, the leads in this, who are no longer with us, and they're just legendary. That's awesome. And Village of the Damned, check it out. I consider it a must own. Then number 1, there was no question. Now, this may not be my favorite movie on the list. I do absolutely love this movie. But when you talk about wanting to show off what a 4K can do, color-wise, dynamic range-wise, filmic look, filmic quality, there is no question when you're talking about horror movies that have been done, in my opinion, by Scream Factory. I'm talking about Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I've bought this one a couple times. I have the steelbook as well. It's back over here in a special slip that I bought for it. I bought this collector's set. The colors in this just leap off the screen at you. The clarity, the film grain, it looks so filmic the way it's supposed to. It's so much fun. It's a fun, ridiculous movie. And this is one, if you want to show off your system and you want to show off colors and what 4K can do, you slap this sucker on an OLED and just stand back, because people's mouths are going to drop and hit the floor. That's how good this is. And then the movie's just fun. You can enjoy the movie even if you don't like horror movies. This one I'm going to make Risha watch because it's not scary at all. It's fun. It's ridiculous. The clowns are iconic. They even did a Universal Halloween Horror Nights house based on Killer Clowns a couple years ago. I'm wearing my Universal Halloween Horror Nights stuff from Mel's Die-In right now, as I'm such a big fan. But I would love to. I didn't get to see that house in person. This is so much fun though, and they're literally it's as close to a perfect 4K as you're going to get, and one that you could definitely demonstrate everything a 4K is and what it should do with this one. And Killer Clowns, unquestioned number one on my list of Scream Factory 4Ks. So that is my list of my top 10. Now, remember, these are what's in my collection, and honorable mentions on this. I've got to go with Silver Bullet, as I mentioned. Life Force, amazing 4K. I dock it down a little because they don't have the director's cut in 4K, and that is by far the way you want to watch that movie. And then The Howling, like all of these older movies where those films just sat around for 40 years, 35 years, and then they restored them and they look better than they did even in the theaters when they originally came out, because those would have been a 2K cinema package. So it would have been half the clarity, and then old film and how they were showing it. Dude, the Scream Factory Shout Studios, they don't miss. Matinee, it's not a horror, so I didn't have it on this, is one of the best 4Ks I've ever seen. Period. The end. One of the best 4Ks that I have ever seen. And they have others too. The Point Break 4K is good. That Matinee one, though, I mean, that might be the best 4K, one of the best 4K. It's right there with The Thing, but The Thing is not Scream Factory. But they have some amazing 4Ks. If you're looking to add this horror, to add to your horror collection this Halloween season, and you don't have these, make sure you take a look at checking them out. I mean, I make nothing from Shout Factory, from Scream Factory, but I appreciate damn good work, and I appreciate giving these movies that I love a whole other life in 4K and bringing them to new audiences out there. I can't wait to get more from my pre-orders, and hopefully here soon again I'll be able to buy some more movies. But wow, these are top notch, and I will definitely be watching them. And let me know what you think. What are some of your favorite horror 4Ks from Scream Factory? Do you have any of these? What do you think of them? I've got some more spooky season content coming. Now, tomorrow, we're probably going to check out Arrow's big new releases. They've been teasing some stuff. And then Saturday, you're probably going to get the 4K review of Poltergeist. But wow, do I have a huge video for you on Sunday. My 31 Days of Horror Challenge watch list for you, for me. And then I've got some other big lists coming, some family horror lists, some Halloween-focused movie list, all kinds of spooky season-focused content coming your way very soon. And if that sounds like something that you're interested in, we don't always do spooky season stuff, but we do it when it's spooky season. And that's what we're focused on now. But we do the 4K reviews, we do lists, we do rankings, we do all kinds of stuff here. And if that's something that you're interested in, please like, subscribe, ring that bell. It does help me out. If you want to help support the channel, you can join below at my Patreon link, or right here on YouTube, become a channel member, get all kinds of extra perks, videos, get your name in lights here. And I got a special sponsorship opportunity maybe coming up for you guys here soon, where I'll be offering you something where you can get a couple-week free trial. And it'll help you out, help me out, and that'll be coming soon. And until next time, be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.